You can just like, oh, it's going now. All right, so we are group going to talk to you about how home buying will be different in 10 years. So first, we'll talk about what it's like to buy a house now. It's a series of steps. It's not as straightforward as this line graph would make you believe. But first, you search. The majority of people do this online and via mobile. Next, you view the house, often several houses with your real estate agent. Most people see 10 over 10 weeks. After that, if you find one you like, you do an inspection, which is pretty expensive and is often required if the home is financed. Based on the inspection results, you can put in an offer with the seller, and you adjust the price based on what you think it's worth and what the inspection reveals. Next, you negotiate. So you put in an offer, and the seller can make a counter offer. And then finally, you try and close. And the closing involves a series of complicated contracts involving several different parties, and the deal can fall apart at any moment for a variety of reasons. So in summary, to buy a house now, it's slow, it's complicated. It requires several different intermediaries, but besides the buyer and the seller, each with their own incentives. And that results in you purchasing an asset that's illiquid. That illiquidity is due to these transactional frictions.
Great. Some of the key players currently in the real estate market right now can be divided into two main categories. You have your mass online listing retailers such as Redfin, Trulia, and Zillow, and then you have your more traditional in-person local real estate agents who are part of companies such as Remax, Coldwell Banker, and Keller Williams Realty. So as Travis mentioned, marketing in this industry right now is very online based and online advertising based. 90% of home buyers search online during the home buying process. So at any point during their journey, they have visited some sort of website or online search to find out more information. And before the digital age, you can really think about this more so in terms of classifieds in the newspaper, direct flyers, direct mail, yard signs, other forms of print. Now, with the advent of the internet, online advertising has really become that dominant form of advertising, and you can see this in local listing ads, paid search ads, displayed ads, as well as social media. And here's just an example of one of the online advertising ads. So here you can see that my search query is houses for sale in Hanover, New Hampshire, and you can see immediately the top listings are from Zillow and Trulia, some of the other brands that I've already mentioned. And here you can really search for any sort of modifier as well, whether you want zip code, prices, school district, all these can be added directly into the search bar to help you land on a page that is more suited for your preferences.
In terms of the pressures to change in the market, with COVID-19, we've seen pressure on realtors into providing virtual alternatives. This was already underway before COVID, but kind of accelerated by the crisis. Open houses might be impossible in the short term, again, due to public health. And as Edera mentioned, there's a proliferation of data and data mining tools. Also, blockchain technology might change the way parties interact in real estate transactions, especially on the closing side, as Travis was talking about. And in the long term, we're seeing maybe disappearance of certain intermediaries, such as brokers, lawyers, etc. And we're wondering if real estate assets could be perceived as being more liquid with new technologies. And lastly, millennials are now of age to buy properties. It's not just baby boomers, and they're much more tech savvy, so that also will put pressure on the industry. In terms of blockchain economy, so we have the network economy, which adds value through social networks, whereas the blockchain economy is also a network of peer-to-peer transactions, and the value is added through efficiency and reliability, and we think this could have an impact on the real estate industry and how people buy houses. And so blockchain could cut intermediaries and enable greater trust and cost savings for home buyers. So imagine an online digital directory where you have the full title of chain or chain of title, and then you could close through smart contracts. So self-execution of closing conditions. That means once your inspection is done, once your mortgage comes in, the contract just executes automatically, and you don't need to be in person. Same thing for insurance. It might be easier to have all of your insurance conditions and history in one place. In terms of utilities transfer, cost transparency, all the information could be there, and that could enable fractional ownership of real estate. So imagine a place where people can own shares in real estates rather than the full assets. And since this is a peer-to-peer platform, we're also wondering if blockchain could cut the digital marketer. So this is a graph of now. So you see that the buyers goes through all these intermediaries and then the seller too. Whereas with a smart contract on the blockchain, it's linked by code. So it's directly peer-to-peer and you don't have those intermediaries.
Thanks, Élise. So what do all these changes mean for marketing? So as part of the disintermediation of the industry, we see a couple of big opportunities for marketers. So those two buckets are reimagining the buying process and adoption of new technologies. And so in terms of reimagining the buying process, the main thing that we're looking at here is a big opportunity for marketers to step in and take the place of some of those in-person folks who were previously building the trust, providing the guidance, and doing all the curating and personalization that was happening offline previously in the real estate industry. So that looks like things like customized real estate recommendations, insurance, mortgage rates, instead of working with in-person folks, algorithms to really dynamically serve up houses using AI and data science. And then trust by building like a really good customer experience where you're sort of guiding them through the process at every step. And we talked about some of the technologies, really increasing the use of video and virtual reality to show houses, doing smart lenses and mock placements so that people can look and see what their house would look like with furniture in it, and then using drones to kind of get a high level view of what the property looks like and do virtual tours. Also, there's really opportunities in terms of customer targeting and segmentation. So we think that there's opportunities for marketers to be savvy with messaging and using social media and influencers, and more people might be turning to renting versus buying. So we see a place where instead of visiting tons of properties in person, marketers can help expose people through video in these different channels at a much broader scale, higher volume. And with the proliferation of mobile devices, we think everything can be tailored to be mobile first from every step of the process, from getting multi-channel geo-targeted digital ad campaigns to walking them through loan approval, homes, walkthroughs, offers, closing, and really everything else. And we think that video will be a pretty key way to do that, both live video and pre-recorded videos to kind of help shepherd people through the home buying process. Thank you very much. And that's what we see as the future of buying a home and what it means for marketers in the future.